All right, we are live today. I'm with my man Javon here, but unfortunately, Javon's microphone does not seem to be working. So, Javon, if you are able to jump in, just jump in, interrupt me at any time. But this is going to be a short conversation. Um, Life and Transitions Expert Podcast today. We really here are trying to hone our skills and support professionals who are attempting to help people who are going through their biggest transitions in life, particularly probate and estate planning. And when a probate is taking place, it can be very challenging. And sometimes some people may not be aware of the help that they actually need, So we're going to jump in. And again, Javon, if you can hear me, awesome. We'd love for you to participate if you can, but if not, I'll definitely just we'll catch up after this. Probate, again, is a legal process for settling the affairs in the estate of a deceased person. So when someone passes away, there has to be a legal way to deal with any of the liabilities that may still be connected to that person's estate or property. Or for example, there may be medical bills that need to be paid, or may there be a mortgage on a property that needs to be addressed or paid. Or there may be even inheritance that needs to be distributed, and there has to be a legal way to do that. If someone passes away with property or liabilities in their name, there has to be a legal instrument to address those, and that's the probate process. Now, a personal representative, this is the person who has been appointed either through a last will and testament, if it's if there is a will and the person died testate, or if the person died intestate without a will, then that person will be called the administrator. Regardless, they're often referred to as the personal representative, and they're going to have the task of making sure they open the probate, notifying the creditors, making sure they get an account of all the inventory, all the debt that's connected to the estate, settling the debts and the taxes and all, distributing any inheritance that's left over, and finally closing the estate. And it can be a very, as I said, daunting task. You're not required to have an attorney. I highly recommend you get an attorney. I am not an attorney, and I don't play one on my YouTube channel. I'm not an attorney or financial advisor. Just sharing experience based on the time that I've had working with families, and want to share the experience with you. And you can take it as you leave it or leave it. But if you do need an attorney, definitely reach out, because we have connections to a network of vetted attorneys across the nation, really, and particularly in Durham, North Carolina. So definitely recommend that you do get an attorney. But as I say, all to say, this task is not a small task. If you're the personal representative, you will have a fiduciary responsibility to the estate, and you can be held liable if you're found to be not following the steps properly or appropriately. And with all the tasks, all the deadlines, and it can be, again, daunting, including pretty expensive, as well as public. But we've talked about in the past some of the reasons why it's important to avoid probate, or why probate is not necessarily the most pleasant thing. But anyways, I want to say to Javon today, man, this is a 3-step process for overcoming any objections, because a word I keep hearing in my head in the last several years, or several days, not months, but days, when I'm doing my meditation, is serve. And sometimes when you're serving folks, you have to help them understand that you have value, that you're adding, that they actually need service. So this 3-step approach for any objection it's a frame that helps you with almost any objection in your world, in life. Bill Gross, shout out Probate Weekly and folks over there. Bill Gross always talks about this 3-step approach. And I'm not sure exactly which salesperson or guru it came from, but I know I heard this from Bill Gross. So appreciate you, Bill. And we'll talk about it right here. So you see it right there, 3 steps. 1, acknowledge what was said. 2, repeat back what was said. And then 3, restate, reframe with a question or a labeling so that you can move the conversation forward. All right. So do I have these? All right. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Oh, wait. There you go. Okay. So I just want to touch base on why these are important, because 1, this is literally active listening right here. All these steps are a way that you can actively listen. You can affirm someone, and you can help figure out what the next steps are, if any, and help them revisit or rethink the value that you may add. Okay. So acknowledging what they said is so important. Awesome. Great. Oh, let's give an example. So we got everything covered. That's something I hear quite often when I'm speaking to people who are going through the probate process, and they might actually have everything covered. That's awesome. That's great. And in fact, that's what I'm going to say. Great. Awesome. You got everything covered. That's number one. Boom. Nothing else there. Just awesome. Great. Awesome. Then I'm going to repeat what they said. They said everything covered. I'll say, well, it sounds like you're ahead of the game and you have everything covered. I even use some of the phrases that they use so they can hear themselves back. This is reinforcing their autonomy, reinforcing that you're listening, and it is, what we call, it's disrupting the pattern, because so many people are used to salesmen who are selling the wrong way, or people who are marketing. That's what we are. We're marketers. We're salesmen providing service. They're assuming that they're going to like just beat down, attack, and push and bully, and that's not our style. That's not my style, and I don't think it's as effective style. And so when you actually disrupt the pattern, you shake up and you have people like rethink that, okay, this is going to be a little different, and there's not that pressure there, and they're really able to open up to see if there really is a match, if there's really value that you can add. And so you see this third thing I made with a little typo here. While we're still talking, I'm sure you have the property properly insured to avoid issues during probate, right? I may say something like that. I mean, now the phrase that you use here is not as important as it giving you the opportunity to continue to have the conversation, to dig deeper, to see if there's a way you can help. And so this is actually a great response when someone says they have it taken care of. Awesome, sounds great. I'll either say, I'm sure you have I'm sure you have the property insured. Sometimes I come across what people don't, but I'm sure you have that taken care of. And then they may ask, oh, what do you mean? What's that? And then I may go into the importance of making sure that a property is insured the proper way, particularly in probate, when the property can be vacant because someone's passed away, or the surviving spouse or other ones have moved out, or it's inherited property. If it's sitting there and for the past whatever years, the insurance premium has been paid as if it was still occupied, I have seen and heard horror stories of insurance companies not paying claims when there's fire or water damage in between the time of the probate. And they're stating, hey, this is not necessarily what we were covering. And from the insurance company side, that wasn't the property product that they were selling. So legally they're correct in saying that that this isn't the coverage, so we can't apply it to this. But it still does not feel good when you find out that you're owed $50,000 or $100,000 in damages are not going to be covered by insurance that you thought that you had. Those are ways to help people, to help serve in areas that people may not be aware of. They wouldn't be aware of that unless they're deep into these, experiences or conversations. So again, I just want to revisit. We're going to be digging into this more, and this is definitely what I want to hear myself, and I want to role play. Javon and I will be role playing Thursday. We'll play every Thursday, role play every Thursday, but this is what we'll be doing. We'll be looking at 3-step process for objections, as well as looking at more of the common objections that I actually hear when I'm attempting to serve or help people who are going through the probate process. So again, this is probate or anything. Knowledge what was said. Awesome. Great. Yep. Awesome. You're right. 2, repeat what was said. Repeat what was said so they know that you're actively listening. And then 3, reframe, restate, or ask a question or label to move the conversation forward. All right. Let's see. Hoorah. Let's see if I can escape this. Come back and see if Javon's still with us. He might not be with us, folks. He's still there. Yeah, brother. All right. All right, man. So I guess your stuff's still not on, my man. Oh, I hate that y'all not able to hear from Javon. That dude is an awesome server on the phone, man. He just helps people feel so comfortable and helps figure out if we are able to actually be a great match. But man, I really appreciate everything you do, bro, and appreciate you listening. And we'll reconnect on Slack, and we'll revisit this Thursday where we can dig deeper, and maybe we'll figure out what's going on with StreamYard in between there. All right, brother. Tell your young ones to say what's up. Peace and blessings. All right. Let your light shine.